and welcome to the weekend edition of Geekdom Q&A, where I answer your questions from the Ask.fm. And we did a 45-minute Q&A earlier this week with Super JAYAIN. Should be on the channel right now. I'm sure most of you are already subscribed, and if you are not, then if you would be inclined, go ahead and sub so you get all the videos, notifications in your email box when they drop. Make sure you turn that feature on. So, I'm going to be answering your questions from the Ask.fm. We're going to start here with a multi-part question. Or a multi-post question, I suppose. Go ahead and get to it real quick. Here we go. You maybe said that already, but do you like DB or Z more? I personally watched DBZ first, huge mistake, and then DB. A lot of people have, it's not just you. I really had no expectation for Dragon Ball, but I was surprised how well written it is, and I like it more than Z. Because even if DB is more childish, I like the storytelling more. It was a better balanced thing with seriousness and humor, and also nearly every fighter could at least somehow compete with each other. Yes, Yamcha was always weaker than Goku, but the gap was so tiny compared with Z. That's true. Furthermore, the show's name is Dragon Ball. And I think DB should be a major story point every time. You had in the Saiyajin and Freezer saga, but after that, in DB it was always somehow about the Dragon Balls. First, Bulma wants to collect them all, and Goku had one. Then the Rebel Army wants them, but Goku needed them also. After that, King Piccolo shows up. I don't want to say the Cell and Buu saga sucks, but I think they could have done it better than just to say an RR member wants revenge on Goku or a magical being goes to Earth to reveal a being created unlocked by his dad. Yes, DBZ is on another level, but with the OP Saiyajins, it kind of ruined it all. Very interesting point of view that a lot of people share, and a lot of others don't. I think Dragon Ball Z has better moments. And I mean, it's certainly the bigger of the two internationally. It's got better moments. It's got great moments. It's got they really flesh things out good. But I think overall, Dragon Ball has a better story start to finish. Dragon Ball Z has really, really good story arcs with Piccolo, Gohan, and Vegeta. Those three characters get fantastic story arcs. Dragon Ball story arc is really about Goku. It's an overarching theme with Goku. So if you want to get the story of Goku, you really got to watch Dragon Ball. He gets found in the forest by Bulma, as you said. He goes on to compete in the martial arts. He goes on to then defeat the Rebel Army, as you stated, and then saves the world. And the series pretty much ends with him saving the world 2 times. Once against Demon King Piccolo, and then again with Piccolo Jr., and he spares the life of Piccolo Jr. and gets married. I mean, that's a perfect ending to a series. Dragon Ball could have ended right there, and I would have been happy. So, I don't know which one I like more because they're both part of one big story, but I will say Dragon Ball as a self-contained story is better than Z. Z does fall apart after a while. Let's keep going. Should Krillin die in Dragon Ball Super? That's 1. 2, how Krillin will die in Dragon Ball Super. 3, how often will Krillin die in Dragon Ball Super? 4, should Krillin die forever? The answer to all these is no. I don't think he's dying at all. Will Super focus only on Goku and Vegeta like GT was focused on Goku? Goku, Vegeta, Whis, Beerus, Champa. That seems to be the group. Maybe not Champa, but at least those 4. Do you know off the head how often the Dragon Balls were used in the manga, including the Earth and the Namekians? Off the top of my head, no. I do not. I would have to sit here and count. They were used once in the first story arc. They were used again to bring back Bora. That's 2. They were used again to wish for Piccolo to become young. They were wished again to wish back people who died from Piccolo. They were used to wish back Goku. That's 5. On Namek, if you count 3 wishes as just 1 use, they used it there, so that's 6. Then again on Earth makes 7. Then when they brought back Krillin and them, that's 8. When they brought back Yamcha, or when they brought back, Tenshin Han and Chaozu, that's 9. When they brought back the people that were killed by Cell, that's 10. Right around, with the Buu saga, I'm going to say right around 13, 14. I'm not going to sit here and count everything, but roughly around there. Which is your least favorite Dragon Ball character? All of Dragon Ball, even Ozato or something? Now, those of you who wonder who Ozato is, I may do a video on Ozato. That's a very unknown part of the Dragon Ball fandom that a lot of people don't know about. He's not my least favorite character. He's just a video game character from a one-shot game. He's like the original Hachiak or whatever. My least favorite character would probably be Puar. like Expert Games says. I want that we see Ooh, Pan, and Bola in Super because it's kind of weird that Toriyama makes 2 or 3 new characters for just the last 3 episodes and Super could play after Z. So, well, it's for the last manga chapter, but you're right. They were adapted into the last 3 episodes. If the series goes past Super, well, Pan's already there. I mean, we know that. Baby Pan. But if the series goes past the end of Z, I could totally see them doing something with these characters. I don't think it will, but I could see it. What would happen if Vegeta accepted Dodoria and Zarbon's pleas for an alliance? How would it have changed the fights in the Frieza saga? Well, there's no way that Dodoria and Zarbon would actually betray Frieza. I mean, that's one thing you gotta understand about these villains. You know, they are all slimy. So, Vegeta accepting Dodoria and Zarbon's pleas would have ended up in Vegeta getting killed because they would have taken him to Frieza, backstabbed him, and Frieza would have killed him. That's what would have happened. There's no way that Dodoria and Zarbon would ever not be aligned with Frieza. I think it would have just been a setup. So, it wouldn't have changed shit except if Vegeta would have died sooner. What is your favorite DBZ saga and movie? Just Dragon Ball Z. I'm probably going to say the Cell Saga. And movie, I like The World's Strongest. But that's of the original 13. Battle of Gods is my favorite movie of all of them. Who will win in a fight in their prime, Krillin or Tien? In their prime? Probably Krillin. I mean, see, Toriyama said that Krillin is the strongest human, but Tien Han is human, but he's also descended from the Three-Eyed clan, so he's not 100% human, but he is an Earthling. So that doesn't necessarily mean that Tien is weaker, because maybe Toriyama just meant 100% humans. So I'm going to say Tien Han. That's my guess, honestly. Why is Fat Boo such a dick in Dragon Ball Super? He was fun-loving and always listened to Mr. Satan and Z, but in Super he comes off as a dick who doesn't care about him anymore. Well, he just likes pudding and didn't want to share it. Yeah, it is a dick move, but if you're ever around fat people, you know, that's how they are. Do you think Krillin chose to stop fighting or 18 convinced him to stop fighting out of care? I ask this because in the movie with Tarble, Krillin volunteers to fight, but 18 scolds him, telling him there's no reward. It seems Krillin still wants to fight, but 18 wants him to be more of a father. Well, I'm sure she does, but the thing about 18 is that she likes money. That's kind of the gimmick, which is why she took, you know, she did the job, so to speak, for Mr. Satan in the Tenkaichi Budokai. And she thought that it would be a waste of time for Krillin to get his hands dirty against somebody who isn't going to pay him anything. It makes sense. I mean, when you talk about that character, it does make a lot of sense. Why didn't King Piccolo wish for immortality when he had the chance? He wished for youth. Maybe he just didn't think about it. Maybe he thought that if he was younger, he would be immortal anyways, or at least live a very long time. Maybe he didn't want to be immortal. But he definitely wanted the youth. So there you go. From Super Gogito, could you do some of these? Which DBZ character are you? My result is nearly every time Goku wants Gohan. Like one of them online survey things. I mean, they're kind of lame, to be honest with you. I've done them before, but would you buy a Dragon Ball Mario Party game instead of the mini games you have to fight but no tournament? I would love from Super Gogito also. I would love a Mario Party-esque Dragon Ball game. That sounds fantastic. Are the Tuffles called Soufles in the Blue Water dub of GT? I have not seen the entire Blue Water dub, but that's funny. That is funny. I'll have to look that up and see if that's true. What do you expect will be the story in Xenoverse 2? If it's similar, they can only cover the Dragon Ball story, maybe the events on X1, Super Gogito. Not necessarily. There's a lot of Dragon Ball story from Dragon Ball Online that has not been talked about yet. In fact, I have a video that's going to be dropping Sunday. As of the recording of this video, this Sunday I will drop another video about the top storylines that I want to see in Xenoverse 2. And I'll be covering a lot of stuff that's actually not in the manga. We'll be covering some supplemental material stuff like, you know, heroes and online. So they could make new stuff, or they could take old stuff and make it new again. When in DBZ Krillin surpasses Tenshinhan when he's again stronger than him? I'm guessing probably sometime during the Cell arc, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Most of the what ifs would have ran out so bad. Isn't that showing us that the story of DBZ is kind of shallow and that so many things have to happen and that there's no other way? Super Gogito. Watch the video I did on causality, brother. Dragon Ball in depth on causality and causation. That answers that question in a much more complex way. Will you ever get a full back tattoo of the Super Dragon Fist from B? I like that name, B. The answer is no. Who's stronger, 17 or 18? It's said explicitly in the series that 17 is slightly stronger, but my guess is very slightly. They're about even, but 17 is stronger. Super Gogito again. Cell has only the regeneration ability from Piccolo's, right? So wouldn't that mean that Piccolo can also regenerate if some parts of his brain are still there? In the Cell saga, after Trunks had him broken, he was left with just the head and then regenerated. So did Cell upgrade his ability? I think Cell did upgrade it because Cell explains in the Cell game that he had to have his nucleus destroyed. I don't think Piccolo has a nucleus. However, all of that logic is thrown out the window when you get to the Buu saga, because in the Buu saga, Piccolo gets turned to stone and then gets crushed into a million pieces and somehow puts himself back together. So I guess Namekian fusion, or not Namekian regeneration is a lot stronger than we thought. Because I had thought that with Namekians, it was just like a snake or like a, like a lizard. You lose a limb, like an arm, a leg, a finger. You can grow it back. I didn't think your whole body being shattered into a million pieces would actually be able to be regenerated. But in the Buu saga, I guess it can. So I guess maybe that is where Cell got it. Do you think Goku could absorb the spirit bomb in the manga? Like in movie 7? I don't think so. What happened if Goku in the manga once gathers the energy up for Genki-Dama? I like how you went from Spirit Bomb to Genki-Dama and straight ahead turns into SSJ. That's what happened in movie 7. Now, movie 7 was not written by Toriyama. It was written by Takao Koyama. So, it's his vision, essentially, of, what happened. So, I would say maybe the same thing. I mean, the theory makes sense somewhat. Super Gogito's got a lot of questions, yo. Isn't the whole afterlife so questionable in DBZ? I mean, theoretically, you knew something like instant transmission. You can go in if you are living and perhaps out of it if you're dead. You're not supposed to, but a couple of Dragon Ball movies changed that. Also, in the filler, why do the bad guys sit there and don't go to heaven or screw everything up? Well, there's always in the filler stuff like, oh, well, Broly is running amok in hell. And then we have, of course, the GT storyline with... the Super 17 story. So, I mean, it's happened. It's happened. I suppose they're not allowed because it doesn't really make much sense because you would think if they kept their bodies, they had kept their abilities. So maybe Frieza and King Cold could somehow beat up Lord Enma or King Yama and get their asses up there. I mean, that makes sense, right? Maybe that dreaded Yama lock is actually that strong. Would you like it if Dragon Ball is real but happens in another universe and somehow Son Goku once traveled to us and asked for fighters for us or other things and is disappointed that we are all weaker than Mr. Satan? That'd be hilarious and he would be disappointed. Except if we found like Mike Tyson in the 80s. I think Mike Tyson in the 80s could take out fucking Mr. Satan. Super Gogito, why or would Sorbet once found new Namek in the history of Trunks timeline? That's possible. I like where you're going with this. And if so, what would he have done with the second and third wish? Probably resurrect King Cold and put Frieza together. If so, what would have happened? Frieza just wanted revenge on Goku, not on that one that killed him, right? Well, Frieza said he wanted revenge on both of the Saiyans who killed him. So, he wanted Trunks too, but I guess he focused just on Goku because Trunks was not around. Future Trunks wasn't, that is. It's an interesting idea that the Sorbet found the new Namek and used the new Namekian Dragon Balls. I have a feeling that something would have probably stopped them from doing so, like maybe the Kais. But if they didn't, I mean, what stopped them in Dragon Ball Resurrection F, right? I could see King Cold and Frieza being resurrected together. And I think Frieza's resurrection would probably take 2 wishes because of him putting his body back together. But maybe Purungo would do it for free. I mean, he did it for Krillin, right? I would love it if once we see something from the unseen timeline. Do you? Maybe, but it's not I don't really think about it. I don't lose sleep over it. You know what I mean? It sounds like a decent idea. More Super Gogito. The Z Fighters are all observed by Dr. Garo throughout all of their battles on Earth, so he should have known the SSJ transformation because Trunks and Goku transformed into one. Yeah, but he didn't get Goku cells. Goku did not. Okay, Goku did not go SSJ when he came back to Earth, except for that one scene with Trunks. And by then, the spy robot was already gone because they determined it had enough Saiyan data, which is a mistake because it should have taken more data and see how strong they were. But the robot decided it was enough data. So that's what happened. That's why Dr. Gero did not know about the SSJ form. After Trunks first went back in time, did he go straight ahead to the time the cyborgs arrived, or did he went first in his time? I was questioning this since I first seen the Cell Saga. I don't know what you mean. I don't know. He just... Huh. No, I guess he went first. I'm not sure what you mean, though. I might want to rephrase that question and send it back to me. Can Cell absorb people in his perfect form? It's implied that he can, but we never see it. Hi, I'm Bulma. You're virtually know what happens in our universe, right? How? Was there someone who traveled through dimensions and talked about it? I'm now writing via a new machine I created to talk to with Vegeta. In Universe 6, I found your version of Earth. How's it going? Good, Bulma. Come over here and suck it. I'll go for a couple more questions and get out of here. How big is my D? Not very big. So you still don't like Fukasu no F? Fukasu no F is alright. It's alright. It's a fun movie, but it does have plot holes. I've said it. I've already criticized. I've done reviews on it. Does anybody on YouTube know who you look like? Yes. Do you get mad easily? Anger management issues? I definitely think I have them. I have anger management issues. I think I do. I'm not the worst case ever. I won't like hurt somebody like physically, but I will break stuff. Let's go ahead and pick a random final question here. Right here. Hey, Senpai, can you give me tips on how to live a Super Jaiyan lifestyle? Only Super Jaiyan can do that. You basically just get a job, get, transportation, and just be at home and not give a fuck and then go work. That's it. And if we're talking about women, we give you tips all the time on the videos. All the time. Anyways, that's it for this week's Geekdom Q&A. Thanks again for joining me. I cleared out a few more questions. Hopefully we can get down to at least like 3,000. Probably never, but we'll see. Thank you again for your support. And, hey, I will catch y'all down the road. Thanks for watching.